In 1901, a group of sponge divers were sheltering from a storm off the small Greek island of Antikythera, between Crete and the mainland. While waiting for the weather to clear, they decided to dive on the ancient shipwreck they had spotted on the seafloor. They expected bronze statues and amphorae. What they brought back changed our understanding of ancient civilization. Among the artifacts was a corroded, encrusted lump of bronze about the size of a shoebox. The Greek archaeologists who received it had no idea what they were looking at. It sat in a basement of the National Archaeological Museum in Athens for more than 50 years. When researchers finally examined it carefully, in the 1950s and 70s, they realized it contained gears. Dozens of gears, perfectly cut, mathematically arranged. The machine they had recovered was not from the medieval Islamic world or Renaissance Europe. It was from the 2nd century BC, the time of Caesar and Cicero. Nothing like it would be built again for 1400 years. This is the Antikythera mechanism, the world's first computer. The shipwreck itself dates from approximately 60 BC. The vessel was a Roman cargo ship sailing from somewhere in the eastern Mediterranean, possibly Rhodes or Pergamon, carrying luxury goods to Italy. We do not know who owned the cargo or who was on board. We know they all drowned, because human remains were recovered alongside the bronze and marble. The mechanism appears to have been one of the most valuable items on the ship. It was housed in a wooden case roughly the size of a modern shoebox, with bronze dials on the front and back, and a hand crank on the side. When the crank was turned, the gears inside drove pointers across the dials, displaying astronomical information. Imagine an ancient laptop. That is what the cargo was carrying. The mechanism contained at least 30 interlocking bronze gears. Modern X-ray and CT scanning, conducted starting in 2005 by the Antikythera Mechanism Research Project, revealed gear ratios so precise they could only have been achieved by craftsmen who deeply understood mathematics and astronomy. The front dial showed the position of the sun and moon against the 12 signs of the zodiac. A small ball indicated the phase of the moon. The back of the mechanism had 2 more dials. One predicted the dates of solar and lunar eclipses for centuries into the future, using a pattern called the Saros cycle that the Babylonians had discovered earlier but never built into a machine. The other dial tracked the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games and other Pan-Hellenic festivals. The astonishing part is the math. The gear ratios are not approximations. They are precise to a degree that requires understanding heliocentric and geocentric calculation, including the elliptical motion of the moon, which would not be formally understood by European astronomers until the work of Johannes Kepler in the early 1600s. Yet here it is, 2,000 years before Kepler, in a Roman cargo ship. So who built it? The leading theory points to the school of the Greek astronomer and mathematician Hipparchus, who worked on the island of Rhodes in the 2nd century BC. Hipparchus is credited with developing the mathematical models the mechanism uses. The mechanism is also marked with what appears to be a Corinthian-style calendar, suggesting it was made for a wealthy patron in a Corinthian colony, possibly in Sicily or Epirus. Some inscriptions inside the case mention the city of Syracuse, raising the question of whether the mechanism was associated with the school of Archimedes, who was killed in the Roman siege of Syracuse in 212 BC. We do not have a confirmed maker. We do have evidence that this technology was not entirely